Hello and welcome to Preacher to Teacher. My name is Terry. Have you heard there's a war on teachers in Florida? Let's talk. I'm a big fan of reading the news, and lately I've seen more than one article in print that indicates that there's a war on teachers in Florida. And they have interviewed, the authors have interviewed different teachers who have indicated that there's a war on teachers, especially in the social studies department. And as a government and economics teacher, I'm a part of that. And I wanted to give a moment to speak to my own personal perspectives as a teacher regarding this war on teachers in Florida. So first, let me say I don't believe that there's a war on teachers in Florida, and I would encourage you to do your own personal research on what it is that we are and are not encouraged to teach. The state standards in Florida are all public information. You can go online and see every single standard for kindergarten through 12th grade that we are responsible to teach your kids and the students that have been entrusted to us. And in my case, as it relates to government, we are strongly encouraged to both share the information and test on the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. And as you know, 13th Amendment abolished slavery, made that illegal. 14th Amendment was the amendment that gave people of color the right to citizenship, and then the 15th Amendment, the right to vote. These are critical to us, and we want to make sure that all of our students know this information. Additionally, within the realm of high school civics education, we're required to teach about the causes of the Civil War. And obviously, secession was, if you read the secession documents, you're going to find that slavery is a significant part of that. If you look at post-Civil War and Reconstruction and Jim Crow laws and the Plessy versus Ferguson case, you're going to see that all of these things are a part of Florida education. And all of these things are opportunities for us to have mature conversation with students about our difficult past as it relates to slavery in America. And not only slavery in America, but recognizing people of color as full citizens with equal rights and all those things that are included there. So as you can see, our standards make it very clear that the expectation is that we teach all of this information. So why is it that some would consider there to be a war on Florida teachers? Well, in the one article, it was considered to be a war because the teacher mentioned the slave ship Amistad. Now, if you can imagine being a teacher in a room with a multiracial setting of 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and you're talking about Plessy Ferguson, that the Supreme Court said that separate but equal is justified. So you have this horrible ruling, and you're indicating to the class that it's a horrible ruling, and then you have instances where we're talking about separate bathrooms and all those things that Jim Crow was about, and then a teacher would say, and remember, on this Amistad ship, white people are throwing black people overboard, and they're drowning alive, eaten by sharks, etc. And I don't know exactly what was said in the classroom, but you have to understand that we are ratcheting up the emotion in a classroom. And if we do not tell kids how to deal with that emotion and how to wrestle with the challenges between the races in the classroom, all we're doing is fueling emotion, and we've stopped educating. And then on the other side of it, what if a teacher were to reference, as it relates to the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, or Plessy versus Ferguson, or Jim Crow laws, if that teacher were to be dismissive and say, well, did you know that in North Africa in the 16th and 17th century that European Christians were enslaved by North Africans at a rate that in 1776 exceeded the number of slaves in America. Well, if a teacher were to share that in a classroom, you would also have to ask the question, why? And so if a teacher is sharing about Amistad, the question's why? If a teacher is sharing about the slavery in North Africa, the enslavement of white European Christians in North Africa, you have to ask the question, why? So ultimately, all of this boils down to one clear thing. The standards are the thing that drive a teacher, and the standards are the thing that we need to stick to. And the standards in Florida give us tons of opportunity to critically explore the issue of slavery in America, the horrible issue of slavery in America, our journey toward full citizenship for people of color and the right to vote, and our difficult past in embracing that idea that people of color are not less than, they are whole, and we are equal, and that separate is not equal. Brown v. Board of Education, the case that we talk about here in government, that separate but equal is not equal, and that we need to treat each other with respect and equality, that we are all human beings journeying together toward common goals. So either we are going to use education and court cases and history to help our students to find a path forward together, or we can use education and historical facts to create division and angst, and just for the pure sake of creating evocative emotion, we can use history in a negative way. So the standards drive us toward a unifying educational purpose in Florida. And there is nothing there in those standards that would lead me to believe that we are diminishing the history of slavery, that we are diminishing educational opportunities for our students. I would encourage you, look up the standards. And if you do, you're going to discover there should be, and in my view, is no war on public education social studies teachers. Well, I look forward to hearing how you all react to this video, and I hope it's helpful for you. Don't listen to what people have to say about issues. I tell my kids this all the time. Don't even listen to what I tell them. Do the research for yourself. Look up first-person documentation in history. Look up the Florida state standards that we have. Do your research. Be a responsible citizen. Be a responsible voter. Don't just listen to the news, and you will find yourself to be a better human being for it. I want to remind you, you matter. What you do matters, and I would encourage you to comment below your thoughts. We'll see you again.